And welcome back to another episode of Casey Campbell's Videocast. Of course, I'm Casey Campbell from Great Lakes Post, and joining us right now is the head coach of the Purdue women's basketball team, Sharon Versyp. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, and I'm glad you're doing well, and thank you for the opportunity to do something like this because, all of us need to have some things to look forward to.
Yeah. First off, let's recap this season. How do you think your team did this year?
I thought we did some really good things. I thought we had, we were playing our best basketball at the end of the season. We did some really good things, non-conference up to mid-January. Then one of our top players, we had a starter go down, which was an integral part, Tam Farquhar. So we had to kind of change our identity a little bit, the rebounding and the defensive end. But our strength of schedule was like 14th in the country. The Big Ten was the second toughest conference in the country. So, yeah, you always want to get a couple of those games back again. But, being able to beat Michigan State very well in the Big Ten and then playing Maryland toe-to-toe for 40 minutes. And then, NCAA pretty much was everybody's heartbreaker, but being able to get back to the tournament and do some damage there, we're just looking forward to it. And Ariana and Dominique Oden have done a lot as two seniors that have played for 4 years for us. So just like everybody else, it's bittersweet, but, technically it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. How different has this been with recruiting and stuff? How are you adjusting to all the video chats and stuff and all that?
Yeah. It's a different way of life. It's a different type of fatigue. Usually you're going nonstop, chasing and watching all these players all over the country, especially in April and one time in May and then the July period. But I think that everybody, even including the student athletes, they had to, make some adjustments. And I think with, all these type of adjustments, it's been positive because you're talking to these kids, you're having more FaceTime with them, you're speaking to their parents even more so. So you're doing a lot more because this is how we have to communicate. So you're actually probably connecting at a higher level because the kids like to text, or maybe they'll give you a phone call and then they play and then nothing comes back around until maybe July. Everybody works it differently. The hardest thing is just not having kids come on campus. That's the most difficult part for them. And for us, but it's a different fatigue being on a computer for the whole day.
Yeah, it's an adjustment for all college coaches for sure. For the Big Ten women's basketball conference, it has progressively gotten better throughout the last few years, and you've been in this conference for a long time. What's been the progression of the conference overall the last few years?
Well, I think, they've, new staffs have been hired. So from different areas of the country, I think our recruiting has gone up to another level. And I think as a conference, we had a charge that we want to showcase and be one of the best on the Big Ten network. But I think we have great coaching, and now we're getting great recruits, and we have a great product. And but as a unit, that's what we're trying to do. It's not just like a couple teams. There's 6 teams that are really good. It's from top to bottom. It's a battle day in and day out. And I think that shows you the commitment that our coaches have right now to make this the best conference.
With everything going on right now, what could be, are the kids talking about what could it look like when school gets back to normal? Have anyone talk to you about that, or any players or any recruits or anything like that talk to you about what could possibly be next when they come back in the fall?
It's hard. We've been kind of charged with, none of us know what it looks like. None of us. So I couldn't even tell you. We just got to go day by day, and universities and states and federal government, they're all making decisions for all of us. So, we just got to trust in the process. And, the high school players, some aren't sure what their high schools are going to do, if they're going to have fall sports or what it's going to look like. So, we just go day by day, week by week. And obviously, if you're listening to the news, it changes every day.
Yeah, it is. All players are doing okay? Everything going well with that? How much have you checked in with your team?
Yeah, check in quite a bit. We, just like everybody else in the country, you're trying to navigate this world, and our staff's on a rotating basis. FaceTiming and talking to our players. And right now it's dead week in finals, so we won't be doing a lot. But we'll always have a weekly Zoom call. We'll have post call, guard call, hybrids call. We'll have, classes. We're kind of going to organize a schedule right now of what kind of is going to be happening. But the biggest thing that we cared about over these last probably 4 weeks is just their mental and emotional status, if their family's safe, getting all our kids home, making sure they got there. But it's really the mental stress and getting through their academics, getting through school. And then once that happens, then in May, we'll start working on the other stuff. But, we just want to make sure that we're touching them as much as we can through this process, and just know that they're loved and they're safe.
Yeah. Overall, with this, since you've been at Purdue, what has changed?
As in the women's game, just the process of the last 14 years?
Yeah. The women's game and overall.
Yeah, I think, with the women's game, I would have to say, obviously, the recruiting is differently in the last 4 or 5 years. It's ramped up. They've kind of opened things up for us, so that's at a different level. I think they changed our game a little bit. The rules that they have in place, it's more offense. It's not about the defensive game anymore. Everything's geared to that. Mimicking, some of the international rules or WNBA, timeout in advance. So it's giving you different opportunities, again, to score the basketball. Just the landscape of women's basketball, has just, I think, changed just a lot, these last 6 years, and that's in every avenue that I just said. But the recruiting piece and, the challenges of that day in and day out across the country, and who you're going up against, and programs and attendance, and, just putting yourself out there and continuing to sell your product at the very top level. And then obviously these AAU gamuts, they've condensed some things, but, kind of changing that, trying to give it a little bit more back to the high school. But then there's the AAU coaches, we used to be out 6 weeks, then we were out 4 weeks, then we're out 3 weeks, then it was 10 and 10, now it's 7, you have 10 off and then 7. So I think we're just trying to continue to, adjust to what the needs are and what these young people need right now.
And of course, a big icon in women's basketball in your state just announced her retirement. Did you get a chance to know Muffet McGraw, and how many times have you had a chance to play her?
We played her a lot at Purdue, probably over 20 times, even before I came. And when I played here, we played Notre Dame when I was a player. So, we always had that interstate rival. But, I mean, she's just she set the bar exceptionally high. There's no question. She does it the right way. She cares about student athletes. She continues to put women's basketball on the map. She's an advocate for women. She was kind of that person that kind of started carrying us, for these several years, because we need that strong woman out there as a forefront. So she's given so much, and I just thank her for what she's done for all of us. Wish her the best of luck, and wish her well in retirement. And we had a colleagueship. We talked often, and she will be missed.
Yeah. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll have you on and coming up in the next few months. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Great. You too. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sharon.